Welcome back. According to reports, the senator representing Bayelsa East Senatorial District, Ben More-Bruce, who is known for his online presence, took time on his Twitter page to advise President Muhammadu Buhari on how he can get the best out of his ministers. Ben tweeted that if President Buhari wants roads fixed, he must ban his Minister of Works from traveling by air. For hospitals to improve, he must ban his Minister of Health from seeking health care outside Nigeria. What are your thoughts on this? It's your view. Please let it count by joining the conversation on 0708-066-8014 or tweeting to us at TVC_ENT, #Yourview.
Can I
go ahead,
a round of
okay.
applause? When I read those tweets,
okay, I'd like to complete what he said.
Yeah, but I want to, because
hold on, okay. Hold on.
He said if President Buhari wants his Minister of Finance to stabilize our economy,
yes,
he must choose a man with no assets outside Nigeria.
Yes.
If the president wants an effective minister for youth, he should ensure that his nominee is a youth.
Yes.
That's someone between 18 and 42.
There is no nominee under 40.
Go
ahead,
and then he went further to say that if he wants the Nigerian education sector to improve, his Minister for Education must have kids schooling within Nigeria. And the point is that unless that's at Buhari's ministers are fully invested in the sector they administer, they will only give partial commitments.
I identified just now that there's no nominee under 40. So
yes,
where are they going to pick the Minister of Youth from? Also, with their age, most of their children would have finished their school. Go ahead, Tokwe.
I love constructive criticism, and I feel that this is what the opposition in this country should be doing. Nigeria is in a state where I don't care, whoever is in power, the goal should be that we want a better country. So whether you are in PDP, whatever party you're in, whoever is your opposition, your goal should not be, let me wish him not to succeed, so that I will come and take over, because if success is paramount to your own children and grandchildren's future. So I am really, really impressed with what Ben Bruce has said. It is laudable. How realistic and achievable it is with the current people we've seen in the ministerial nomination, I'm not too sure. Okay. But I wish that the president can pay attention to these advices.
Ben Bruce is known for his common sense criticism. But this criticism shouldn't be...
It's advice.
This is an advice.
Yes. Okay. It's not too common sensical, how will I put it? Because if you say that the Minister for Finance shouldn't have assets outside Nigeria, it means that you're telling him, make up for what you don't have. That is what we've seen in the past. Some of them had nothing when they got into governance and made sure, like Anibori, that they had everything by the time they were out of government. We've seen where greed will push them. It's not necessarily someone who doesn't have assets, but someone who is passionate. I'd rather he said a person who is passionate, someone who knows the level, someone who doesn't blame the poor for finding themselves poor, who doesn't think that you're poor because you didn't do anything, not necessarily because he doesn't have assets outside Nigeria, because you simply just go and use your money to get it.
I'd like to explain that same tweet that she's interpreting differently, because I read that and I saw a different meaning to it. His last tweet says that you must have vested interest in the country if you want to rule that country very well. So if the minister, even when you make money as a minister, you are compelled that at all costs your investments must be within the country, you would not want your investments to break down. I'm saying that when there's a policy on ground to ensure that everything I am concerned about healthcare in Nigeria right now. Why? I'm going to hospital. I'm going to register tomorrow. And I go to hospital and I'm scared because I don't know the doctor I'm going to see. I have no choice but to use Nigerian hospital and use a general hospital. I have no choice to ensure that I force my political leaders to make that place good.
I have a stake. We'll come to your two examples later, Nima. But I disagree with Ben More-Bruce by identifying 5 ministers. I think every public official in Nigeria, from the president, vice president, every senator, every House of Rep member, every governor, every PAMSEC must use Nigerian agencies. They must use our healthcare system. They must use our education for their children and grandchildren. It must be compulsory. You know why? These people, when they went into public office, they were already rich. Now, they can afford to go outside of the country. But if they make Nigeria better, and they must use everything Nigerian, then they will do what they need to do.
Can I just make a very, Ben Bruce is known to be among the, is it what do they call him? The capitalists. He's a businessman.
Yes.
He has been known to be, among the elitist, high-flying businessman. He owns this, he owns that. I think that now that he has become a politician, he is trying as much as possible to have a populist clout. He wants to identify with the masses.
I agree.
PMB, as we have seen him,
has always been.
From his background and antecedents as a military head of state, has been rebranding and doing everything he can to appear and have everything that looks like a Democrat. To come up with such a law, to say that because you're a minister, you shouldn't fly out to have first of all, it is an infringement on your freedom as a person. Let us hold on. I'm coming. Let us look at the countries that we're trying to emulate. I mean, do they have such laws there?
No, we need stringent measures for the growth we need right now.
The president will not do that. What we need to do is to see that our institutions can work.
Which ones?
That we have, whether it's healthcare. The fact that a minister went to the road in Biniore and wept there. Thereafter, what happened?
She made enough money to start flying everywhere.
Look.
Hold on,
when ministers, the minister does not need to travel. What is she going to do in Port Harcourt or going to do in Enugu that she
has private jets?
No, it's not even about having private jets. Like I say, it is not until we force them to have things in Nigeria that things will begin to work.
Okay, hold on,
it's not necessarily so.
Let me buttress serious point before I get to my 2 examples. Yes, Monday at the Celebration Symposium, they said something that was key. Human rights is your property.
Yes.
You would secure that property. If someone takes it from you, you take it back. We are the ones who refuse to use the general hospitals and demand quality medical service. Now, government has failed us. What are we doing to ensure that they live up to standard? Yesterday at the screening, 2 ministers, 2 examples for me. One nominee and one of the senators. The Hireme Nosage that came from Edo State was suggestively the Minister for Health. And he said something. He said he had worked in the private sector. He studied abroad, had a private practice abroad, came to Nigeria, worked in the government hospitals, went to private hospitals, and now has his own private practice. That person has seen it all.
Yes.
And that person was saying to us that it is not until you have, you have something, but understand that some people, no matter what they do in life, will be in the low cadre and make it affordable for them as well.
True.
It doesn't necessarily mean that you must have been studied here and have everything here. But the past governor of Akwa Ibom State, Governor Akpabio, got up and said, I am privileged to have built the largest hospital in West Africa. Thank God, one of the senators within the chamber answered him that you did not use when you had a small accident. You went abroad. This old Oyibo that Bremure Bruce is saying, this old Oyibo that is saying, is not practical. Even himself doesn't use hospitals within Nigeria.
Can I say something about Ben Murray Bruce?
Yeah.
Considering the wealth that he had access to, like every other politician, he could have taken his resources and run abroad. We all know that a lot of them just travel abroad. A lot of his investments are here because he has a stake. He has a stake
because
here.
Because we are the largest black nation in the country.
Yes.
He was the first. He's the capitalist.
Hold on. Somebody that saw the cinema industry without having cinema industry, saw potentials in it, invested money in it. He didn't make money immediately. The point is, can I say something? Let me land. The point I'm making is that you must, if you do not have a stake in the growth of the nation, all your children are abroad. One, all your medical care is sorted out abroad. You are a citizen of another country that takes care of you.
When I say hold on, I have a point to make. When I say hold on, do you know that Ben Murray Bruce had met a family business?
Yes, I know.
In Nigeria. So it was not just his choice to start building his business.
And Abiola had businesses here, and his children are, what are they doing with it? For you to sustain business, you must have passion to ensure it grows. You can easily leave it and travel abroad and live a better life. It is a decision we need to make. Let me explain something. We see China now. Don't we see China and we are impressed with China? China has moved from being a third world country to being a major stakeholder in the economic sector because they made a decision to shut off all things that are going on around. It did not sound nice at the time. It wasn't comfortable at that time, but they made a decision. This will not be nice for any minister. If you do not abide with the laws on ground, don't become a minister. If you really want to serve, like they say they all want to serve, then take up that hard position. Take that hard stand. Can I say something? I won't feel very bad. Listen, If I want to give birth, I give birth in Nigeria. I had my twins in General Hospital. I won't feel bad because most people, if I had enough money and I could travel to America, I'll just say, Nigeria Hospital work, Badu, I have money. Once my pregnancy is 6 months, I'll fly outside. I won't feel bad. But you know why I feel bad? I have no choice. Now, if that Minister of Health has no choice, he knows that if he has an accident tomorrow, he will die without getting proper medical care. He will do everything he can. Listen, everything he can. Maria's life is a testimony right now because she knows that if Maria had an accident in Nigeria, that accident that left a scar on her head, we all know Maria will be history because an helicopter flew to pick an immigrant to rescue her life. That is where there's no choice. You must give them no choice. When we now grow up to a place where medical care is easily accessible, roads are good, we can now free up the economy like China has done now. Free up and be nice. But for now, we need those harsh rules.
I agree with you.
You must serve.
Let me
and be
buttress
punished
your
for
argument.
it.
Mr. Bemres Bruce, practice what you preach. Let me queue up with you at the General Hospital for number to get immunization. Then I know you are really saying what I'm saying.
Which is why I support the
Okay, hold on. Okay, we had a phone call. Okay, let's calm down. Let's take it one after the other so that they can hear us at home. Okay? Talk where I buy your idea.
I support your own too.
So
you know we love ourselves right now.
Just hold on. Go ahead.
How about those that, for the sake of their expertise or technocracy, we go to say there's a Nigerian working at the World Bank or working at the IMF or working at WHO. We want you to come back home and use what you have to develop your motherland. I don't think that people who work hard to earn what they have should be punished for their status. I think if anybody has a genuine and sincere passion to serve his nation, he should be given the freedom. The reason why things fail in Nigeria is not because people don't have interest in this country. It is because of the corruption and political will. And in most cases, it's not even about somebody bringing up the law. It's about the stakeholders.
Okay.
People who are on ground to drive those policies. When they if the minister gives a contract for the building of a hospital in Ikorodu, the contractor is a political ally to the president. When the money is squandered, the minister cannot have a say because somebody higher than him is influencing the destruction of the contract. That's what happens. It is not primarily because the minister or the governor or the person who is in the middle level is deliberate. There are cases where they want, but it's not always the case. It is because the political will is lacking. That's what we need to address, and not to say that because you become a minister,
how do you change politics?
Okay, calm down.
How do you change politics?
Don't punish him.
Let's take a commercial break and we'll be right back.
I will tell you.
Can we just take a
I'll tell you how.
Okay, we're going to take a short break. And I hope that they're going to breathe a little. And we'll be right back. Please stay with us. Welcome back. We're still discussing Ben Bruce's advice to President Muhammadu Buhari. Our phone lines are a little faulty today, so we're going to be taking your tweets. So, before you reply,
can I take this message?
Let's take tweets.
Ayodele Chubitemi Osundeko says, Ben Bruce has something up his sleeves. What happened to his common sense philosophy when his Otueke brother was there only some time back? He didn't have philosophy then. He's nursing a political ambition and he's just playing to the gallery, and that is what I see every time that I watch this man on TV trying to say these things.
Okay,
look for more tweets.
Look for more tweets.
While I reply.
Yes.
Now, you said something about political will being the issue. How do we change political will? How do we change anything in the country?
Okay.
Policies.
Okay.
It's about making policies that you believe in your mind. You've conceived those policies. You feel that this policy will drive the agenda. When the policy on ground makes a minister who probably didn't have much money become a minister, I've been subjected to poverty all my life. Not really all my life. I've been average. Now I become a minister, I have access to major money. That means I don't have to go and queue up for fuel. I don't have to suffer all these things. Then I make so much money and I start flying abroad for any small cough. But when I have no choice, while as a minister, I would ensure that everything within my custody, because the policy on ground does not give me opportunity. My children don't have a choice. They have to attend the same funny schools.
Cyril,
can I tell you something?
Will it solve the problem if our ministers are not earning fat salaries also?
That is part of the policy they must put in place. And it mustn't apply to ministers.
You see,
that I concur with your statement in the
that
beginning
it should
of the
be
show.
everybody.
That it should be every political
Okay,
office
let's hear
holder,
Cyril.
so that we will see true service.
Let's hear Cyril.
We need to differentiate two things. Political will is an elephant. It's a serious big elephant. You know, the elephant pushes
Has
his
a trunk, has a tail.
and he pushes the trunk anywhere he wants to push it. That's why. But for the issue of policy is about what rule governs what. And if it is only Nigeria, we have the finest policies in across almost every sector. They'll always tell you.
It's implementation that's the
Yes,
problem.
We have loopholes.
Implementation is like a wheelchair driven by political will.
True.
Which is why the people you appoint to helm to be at the helm of affairs is very important. President Buhari is trying to inject political will into the system. I mean, how else could we have seen, even if some of us think that is a witch hunt and this and that, how else would you have seen that, for instance, you had a Senate president?
True, Sha.
Who, I mean, that tells...
Wisdom.
How did that come about? It is not the office of the AG. The office of the AG answers directly to the president.
He hasn't even been appointed. We don't have an AG yet.
So for the president to have ordered the office of the AG to try a sitting Senate president tells you that somebody is there to muster the will to get the job done. If we have political will, without having half the laws that we even have,
True.
people will naturally sit up and
It's
say,
not the lack of laws, my brother.
I agree.
No.
we must not infringe.
Madam.
We must not infringe on people's freedom because we want to get things done. Lack of freedom alone, in itself, is corruption.
Okay, hold on. You see, this your freedom that you are talking about. In the last 55 years, things have turned topsy-turvy, upside down.
Let me ask him.
For you to come and say, I agree to be appointed as a minister or
you
to
must
serve
sacrifice.
in whatever office, for Nigeria to move forward, we need you to agree that you must sacrifice
all your children
for the time that you are there in office.
All of them will
so
come
if
back.
you know you cannot sacrifice for Nigeria,
Don't serve us.
then don't serve us. That's
Don't
my
serve
point
us.
of view.
Good
Thank
point.
you, Jumoke.
Let me remind you
I agree.
that
Hold on, hold on.
Bruce was also DG of the Nigerian Television Authority at the same time when his TV station started growing.
Yes.
We saw all the children cartoon I used to watch on a particular channel move to his TV station. These are issues that we talk about.
May I tell you
if a
that
person
when NTA was NTA, he was the one who
That
used to
made it.
purchase all of those cartoons
and then he
for
used this-
NTA. So if he now started using it for his own TV station,
It's
knows
the
the
same
way.
issue.
Abba,
It's
wait,
the same
wait,
issue. Someone is saying
wait.
on Twitter
Hold
that
on,
Father
hold on.
Osiola Oluwa is saying that Ben Bruce is a Twitter senator. Most of his ideas are given on Twitter and TV, but how many of such motions has he moved on the floor of the House?
Now
Well,
we
he
can now
still has
face
4
it.
years.
You know, we've already said that you should when you say that, oh, is a pot calling kettle black, oh, this person has no reason to make a statement like this, that we should listen to what he's saying, so we don't just discredit what he said because of who he is. We might have issues with this person.
The message, not the
Take the
messenger.
message, not the
Madam
person.
Tokpe.
Now that message is important. Not that we can take it in its entirety,
Yes,
because it's
eh.
not practical.
Now
I
we
already
have
said that
to
in the beginning.
adapt it.
Now
It's
you've
not
landed
practical right
the
now.
point. Don't take
But
it in
we
the
need
entirety.
to adapt it. When all these ministers were being, all of them were saying, I'm here to
Serve.
It is a sacrifice. Alawode was making it look like the president called me.
Of course,
And he wasn't interested.
I was not, so it was not like I have come to, when you have come to serve with humility.
Yes.
During that position of service, wherever we have put you, the conditions and policies put in place to ensure you don't get corrupt, you abide by, because you really want to serve. Because this country is not just about us. This human rights is our property. It is for all of us. We must all fight.
Serious.
All of us here must agree that we must fight for it.
Don't you agree that that is superior argument?
Riding on the crest of what Father Onsi Olaoluwa said, why hasn't Senator Ben Bruce? Because for this to become law, like we are saying, PMB cannot unilaterally issue a fiat or decree.
Yes, it's not a
It
dictatorship.
has to be passed as an act of
Thank
parliament.
you.
Why
Yeah,
hasn't
thank you.
Ben Bruce deemed
Move
it
the
fit to
motion.
I'm coming
So
to
we'll
move
tell
a
you.
motion? That's
Hold on now. How many sittings have they had? They had
All the
session
sessions for, yes now. They've had barely 5
Jumoke,
meetings.
but they had a format on which to screen.
Can I tell you
On which to
something?
screen.
Hold on,
Did he
hold
make
on.
his suggestions part of the format of
During-
the two senators endorsing? Did he make it?
During- during
No,
Occupy
he did
So,
Nigeria.
like
Hold on, talk about.
Do you know Occupy Nigeria? There was a senator who said that he had cut down his pay also by 60%.
To contribute.
Yes.
Retweet.
And I'm asking myself, as the brouhaha over the jumbo pay and fast salary that senators were earning,
It's true.
He too
He died
spoke.
down, no?
what
What came out of it?
No, waiting came out of Ben Bruce on that issue.
I agree.
I understand.
Superior argument.
There are ministers who in their tenure have done everything beginning, ending in Nigeria. Nothing has come out of it.
Can I say something?
Hold on.
Because
hold on. I want to push a question to you.
No, I want to reply something.
But he made a valid point.
Yeah, and at
that time,
understand.
they were saying, let us reduce the amount that our senators are paid. They are 30 million or almost 30 million a month in allowances and salaries. It's jumbo. It's too much. How can you? And Ben Bruce was one of the people saying, how can you be earning a rich salary representing poor people? What has come out of that?
Can I say something? We are all together in this fight. This human right is ours. So when Ben Bruce takes to Twitter and tries to become a populist, and we all know the game is playing, which is just to scotchy points and become a political person that would attach ourselves to, we should always retweet at him and let him know that we know what you're doing.
Okay.
You cannot just be tweeting this and be making it look like Buhari is not the right person. You also need to do this. We must take ownership. We must all reply him back. So, Oga Bruce, we buy what you're saying. What have you done in your own capacity to make it work in your own? So we should just, it is all of us together.
Okay, hold on.
Zig is saying Tokwe on point. I think PMB is sincere, is involved in national growth. Others should emulate him. Okay. Mary is saying that I agree with that all the ministers should be mandated to get everything done in Nigeria. Romy Ima is saying, for you, Nima, Ben Bruce cannot talk because his advice is for Buhari. You just say demand. And PDP, be objective, please. The truth is that I have not seen Ben Bruce as someone that has acted in good faith when he was DG of NTA. Okay. I have doubts about his character, and that is why I'm talking. When you come out to give this kind, have you abused, public property in your
don't want only pass.
In your hand? Nobody only pass. He has at some point.
What if he has become born again?
So if he has become born again, I should first of all see him moving the right motions on the floor of the house.
Like I said.
In how many weeks?
Wait now, don't sit on the floor of the house. When we were getting the requirements of screening, we heard Dino Melaye with his character that I have a problem with, even suggest that 2 senators must endorse.
Yes.
But I did not hear Bruce say these things as part of the screening criteria. I saw him ask questions on the floor of the house yesterday, and I still wasn't convinced.
Nima, are you saying that Ben Bruce is just a senator on Twitter, advising and giving us commonsensical
all
ideas,
the time.
but on the floor of the Senate, he just sits down?
Sharing.
You know, when back to the symposium, a statement was made that we were saying that what are the youths doing? Mariah asked the question, and
IOB?
No, Shukpo Shashere San said that the fight has changed in modalities. That in their own time, they took to the streets.
In our own time,
we are fighting on Twitter. So now, if he's trying to influence the Twitter fans, and you have such major issue with his character, then you will do your own part. And any other person getting angry on Twitter with me or thinking that I'm not making sense right now should take to Twitter and vex for me and advise me on what to do. Respond to Ben Bruce, advise him on what to do. Do you know, every one of these politicians that have Twitter handle, they were using it to convince us. And they were using it to convince us that time to vote for them. So let us use it now to raise our own voice and let them know that we also have a stake.
I always tweet at them. I never get responses.
But we will keep on talking. We can't give up because this country is ours.
They rely on number of 8 comments and more followers that they need. They just need more followers to be sure that more people are listening to them. Okay. Now, they are our representatives on the floor of the house. Yes. This is the kind of democracy, unfortunately, that we find ourselves. I would love to be able to walk into any office without having to, to follow any stupid protocol of signing paper and all that, and be able to see the local government chairman and say, Madam, in my area, on my street, this is what somebody is doing, abusing public property, causing, oppressing every other person, locking us in and all that, and be able to get audience.
I agree.
I would love that. But unfortunately, I have a Ben Bruce and all the likes in the House of Assembly representing me, who should push for this. The people who will easily get hurt and they don't do anything. They come on Twitter and try to buy me. No, I don't want to listen to anything he wants to say here.
Okay. I agree with you. But I think that at the end of it, Nigerians are the ones that all of these people have gone to serve. We must continually remind them that the one who makes sense, the one that is not making sense, as far as they know, and we keep reminding them that you have come to serve us. You cannot be earning a fat salary and flying abroad for medical care.
So go and check your cough.
Yes.
And mean that somebody in Nigeria now had that a local person that has major sickness cannot access medical care.
You cannot build an international standard hospital.
The biggest in West Africa.
And you have the privilege to
and then
build it.
your car is hit by another car
And they fly you immediately.
Out. It's unacceptable anywhere.
For any senator, minister, commissioner, local chairman, if you are, the day you start earning a salary from that coffer that belongs to the entire Nigerian, every one of us, then you owe us to abide by policies that would ensure that we are first before you. You're there to serve us. And I think that's why I like the policy. So I have issues with the person too.
Let me tell you a secret about the hospital. I'll take more tweets about the hospital in Uyo. I know for a fact that one of the doctors that works there is the best. And with the experience that he has, because he saved my life, and he works there right now, Governor Akpabio had no business going abroad for medical treatment.
So let's take tweets.
Lawal Aziz is saying, good morning, ladies. Keep up the good work. All God is your strength. And someone is saying, Siri, please forget about freedom. Let them sacrifice for Nigeria.
I agree.
And then Reverend is saying to me, Nima, stop attaching tribalism and sentiments on national issues.
Where did tribalism come?
And then John Kantik York is saying, Ben Bruce has his reasons for giving these advices. This should not be, you should not be crucified for it.
Okay.
I want to say something.
Go ahead, Tokwe. More tweets, Nima. We have more time to take tweets.
It's as if I got a lot of message. I didn't even know I got message from this symposium this much.
I love message. Yes. I got a lot.
Yes, back to the symposium. A statement was made by Chidi Odikalu, Professor Chidi Odikalu. He said that there are only two tribes in this country, the rich and the poor.
Thank you.
He said when people whip up sentiments of tribe, it is because they just want to take advantage of you.
Yes.
Because when it comes to the real point, they will cite themselves as the rich sharing the money, and those that are now fighting themselves, I'm Igbo, you are Yoruba, you are this one, they are the poor. So when Nima makes valid points concerning a person that she doesn't like his character and gives reason for that, you do not start reading something because he's from Bayelsa or anything, and Nima is from, we are all Nigerians and we all need to fight for the Nigerian future we want.
I have a problem with the symposium. You saw I wasn't there for too long. And my problem is that talk is cheap. I was at the same symposium last year, and we had fantastic ideas. We spoke, we expressed ourselves
passionately,
but nothing comes out of talk.
No, but you might think so. But
Jumoke, let me tell Jumoke, because I was with you at the last symposium,
yes,
and I got knowledge, and I know you got knowledge because I've heard you repeat what you learned from the last symposium several times.
Hold on, let's go on a commercial break before you tell me what I learned from that symposium. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Thank you for staying with us. We're still discussing Ben More-Bruce's advices to President Muhammadu Buhari. Okay, let's take some tweets.
You can have this tweet. GB is saying, Ben More-Bruce should sponsor a bill on his suggestions and hashtag is common sense. And he should stop taking advice of his free access because of his free access to media. Ola Dipson is saying, on youth involvement, please, the youth that presented Kashamu Award a few days ago, are they the candidates you want PMB to nominate?
No.
Those are the issues. And
may I respond to that? Please. I have been discussing this particular issue on Twitter from last week, and I must respond to say that I agree that some youth have been bought over. But what happened to student unionism? They killed it. Our fathers killed unionism. They clamped down on them. They imprisoned them. Made sure that they were not as strong. Because, hold on, in those days, student unionism removed precedents. So they made sure that they became nonsense. To the extent now that every student union member, all they're going there for is because they know that there's money involved. You get cash, so the people there are not really representative of the mindset of every student.
You were saying you didn't learn anything from the symposium, but I did. Let me remind you that Chidi also mentioned about the ladies, the women, whose cases stood in the court for 30 years before they got judgment. One started a matter in 1960s and got judgment in 1997, and the other one started in
the 80s and just got judgment
in 2015. sometimes when you start what you call an academic exercise, you go to court knowing that there will be delays, but you want your goal is to set a precedent that will change the norm.
What if those people have died within
even if they have died, you know what they've done for the people that are left? I have an Igbo neighbor who had a baby girl in the hospital because of this same custom of the Igbos that girls are not entitled to inheriting. She was crying. She didn't appreciate the fact that she had a child. I lost a pregnancy in the hospital at the time, and I felt like slapping her head that if I could have carried my baby home. Do you understand? Because in my place, nothing concerns me about what my child, no matter the sex, is entitled to inheriting, even under my faith. But she felt disadvantaged. Now, what that woman's case has done for her is give her hope that no matter what happens, the courts now have precedence. They no longer have to rely on those customs because the courts have found those customs arbitrary. That is what they have done. Okay. Youth now no longer want to go to court. We always think we can fight for everything by, causing riots. And then we have the Riots Act, people passing laws, and we didn't even notice these laws were being passed. Have we tried to use the courts?
True.
I would like to say something because you always mentioned the military interregnum. You know that all this took place within the military regime, and as a way to curb the seeming strength of unionism, they really, really clamped down. Student union members see their brothers dying, that they led protests together, and they don't want to die. Their parents will call them and say, "Jotori alone, school ni more eloshe." Because I see my friend losing some. You don't go on the street. That was one of the main things that curbed student unionism. So right now, it might be just a tool to make money. But like I said earlier, it's changed. Fight on Twitter, make all the noise necessary. But going to something else that like you said, the youth involvement in this stuff, in this administration. I remember when we went for meeting, Buhari meeting the youth. In Lagos, I was there. And we had dinner. And our president, then aspiring to be president, was there. Professor Shibajo was there, and they addressed us, the youth, most of us predominantly around below 40.
Yes.
And they told us that they wanted us our participation and that we were going to be involved. Now, a lot of reputable youth spoke at that dinner. Where are those people? They were part of the campaign. Where are they right now? So it is not for lack of youth
or
credible youth that we don't have
competent
here. We have the youth people, please. We are there.
At this symposium, when this person, that we're referring to it, as much as I said that his own talk, somebody was saying that he was in the midst of youth, lots of them with 2 degrees. And Mariah looked back and said, like Jumoke, there are many people who are educated within Nigeria and outside Nigeria that are under 40 that can advise you and say, sirs, you cannot continue to do what you have been doing in the last 55 years and expect anything to change.
I wish PMB, President Muhammad Buhari could just get into government and become the Senate and amend the Constitution. This same Constitution is declogging the will. This Constitution is mandating someone who is trying to reduce, capital expenditure to have 36 ministers.
True.
This insisting that he must have a representative.
But the Constitution. But Ben Bruce is a senator. Why is he not talking about amending the Constitution?
All our Twitter fans tweet at him.
So 4 years is too short, like Mohammed said, to be in opposition.
Okay, let's take some more tweets. Line up about 10 of them. Go ahead, Cyril.
What I was going to say is, nothing hinders Mr. President, as touching the Constitution, from making youth, getting youth into the government. I think the constitutional age for being a minister is 30.
Can you imagine?
Because that's exactly the age that you are qualified to be a House of Reps member. And it says that for you to be a minister, you must be qualified first of all to be a member of the House of Reps.
Okay.
And qualification for being a House of Reps member is 30. And I think that when we see some of these student bodies giving awards to certain people, and we see some of them doing very bad in the public space, this is what should have given PMB the opportunity to now get credible hands as a parallel to the rot.
God will bless
student union.
Yes, so that by appointing a credible 30-year-old or 35-year-old to a minister of at least youth,
you even give us somebody to emulate.
He will now serve, because take it or leave it. We need. How do I feel? I know Alawode-James pedigree.
Yes.
In the highly corrupt government of Shagari in 79 to 83.
Yes.
Ogbe was more like the conscience of that government. He was the prince, even as chairman of the PDP 2001-2005. He was a very principled and conscionable person. But you tell me, Ogbe, I think Ogbe was cleared by the Senate in 1979.
1979.
When Saraki's father was Senate leader. And today, Saraki's son, as Senate president, is
clearing
the same person.
I have an issue.
Now, the man is good. He's a rare breed. He's a,
But just the same way we voted
hold on,
he's an expert.
hold on. I have an issue.
Expert in agriculture.
Cyril,
But
I have an issue in what you're saying. If Audu Ogbe at 68 is a rare breed and he has been for 32 years since he was appointed, or 36 years, that they do not have young people
like him
that they have mentored that can take over from them is a discredit to them.
Can I say something?
It's a shame on our leaders. They will say that we don't have 30-year-olds. They became presidents in their 30s and 27s. If they don't have any young person that they can make minister now, it's a shame on them.
No, can I say something?
Hold on. Let's take tweets.
Omi Adewale is saying, I wonder why Bruce is saying this now. Was his Twitter handle not functioning when Jonathan was president of that Parkwell Jare? Sir J.M. Adeshina is saying,
superior argument.
Bruce might not be right. Bruce might be right, but how much contribution has he put into Senate to change things in Nigeria? Abu Smaila is saying, Bruce is entitled to his opinion, but his advice to President Buhari is not a bad one. Let every senator follow suit. Solomon Daniel is saying, Nima, your views are wrong. What I expect you to do is to deliberate on how workable the idea will. Rather than attacking the man. Okay. Ibrahim Iya is saying, some of our leaders are repulsive in thinking. Therefore, President Buhari has to ensure corruption is kicked out of this government. Jumiwale is saying, Bruce and Fayose are Nollywood politicians. Bruce is Jide Babs and Fayose is Baba Suwe. Kehinde Balogun says, China, Japan imposed death penalty to curb corruption. In Nigeria, we talk of sanctity of life to protect even the looters that kill us indirectly.
Okay, Tokwe, we have to round off.
Yes, I'll just... a lot of people have things against our former governor in Lagos State, Tinubu. But one thing you cannot deny is that he raised giants after him. He mentored people. He's no longer in active politics seeking position. But you've seen his hands in many people. Sons. That is what we want our political statesmen should start doing. Don't bother fighting opposition. Bring people up. Integrity you have, instill it in others, and then put them in position and let them fight, continue the battle.
I think it's totally wrong that in one particular state, they can't get somebody or two people out of...
So what has he been doing in that state?
For 32 years. What have you been doing? How have you been educating the people in your state? We have to round off. I must apologize. We couldn't take the
phone call.
We couldn't take phone calls. We had a faulty phone line. Also, we were going to discuss how to bounce back from a failed business. It's a topic that we're still going to discuss. Our guest didn't make it today, so we apologize for that. Watch old episodes on YouTube. Just go to YouTube/TVC Entertainment and search for Yourview. We're also on Google+. Just search for TVC Entertainment. The cure for breast cancer is early detection. Get tested today. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.